Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the Rock Squad channel and welcome to the Rock album review for the seventh studio album from The Killers. It's called Pressure Machine. Pressure Machine is the follow-up to 2020's Imploding the Mirage, an album actually that I didn't listen to at all. I don't think I know any of the songs from that record. I have a varied history with The Killers. I was really into them when they first came out in 2004 with that Hot Fuss record. Love Hot Fuss. That is a classic. It was a big record for me and my friends when we were in university. It was the soundtrack to our university and college years. So it was a big record during those formative years while we were in college. And actually, I got to see them live right before Hot Fuss came out, or just as that album was coming out. We saw them live at the Mod Club in Toronto in 2004, summer 2004. And that was incredible to see them in such a small venue before they really broke out with that record and became so huge. But I have to say that after Hot Fuss, I didn't really dig The Killers. I didn't really dig any of the albums they released after that, whether it be Sam's Town or Day and Age or Sawdust or anything really. I don't know if it was a change in their sound or if it was a change in the way that Brandon Flowers was singing or songwriting. There was just something about those records that didn't really appeal to me. I love The Man from the Wonderful, Wonderful record, which came out in 2017. We played that a lot when I was on the air. And, I may not be a huge Killers fan. I may not have really dug into a lot of their material over the last decade, but I have to say, I was looking forward to listening to Pressure Machine, and it's a pretty solid effort from The Killers. All right, so how I do it on these rock album reviews is I put the songs from the record into two columns, one being the plus column, one being the minus column, the plus column being the songs that I really loved, and the minus column being the ones that I didn't really enjoy. But you know what? I'm happy to say that most of the songs from this record are going to go in the plus column, the first being West Hills. A lot of these songs start out with spoken word audio. I'm not quite sure of the source of the audio, but it's basically just people talking about their lives and talking about different things that kick off each song. So it's cool. It starts off as a little bit of a piano ballad before the rest of the band comes in. I really love how this one built up. Had some great guitar bends from Dave Kooning. Glad to see that he's back with the Killers on this record, because I know him and bass player Mark Stormer tend to come and go from the Killers depending on how they feel. I know they're not big on going on the road. So I'm glad to see that Dave is playing guitar on this record and contributing to some of the songwriting as well. So I have to say that West Hills is a solid opener for Pressure Machine, and it's going in the plus column. Also going in the plus column is a song called Quiet Town. Again, some more spoken word audio from the beginning of this one. Starts off with a great beat. The band is channeling their inner Bruce Springsteen, or I guess, really outer Bruce Springsteen, because, the influence is quite obvious on this record, but they're channeling their Bruce Springsteen on this album and on pretty much every song. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. This one's a great rock and roll stomper. We've got some harmonica, some acoustic guitar. This could have been on probably any Springsteen record from the 80s. And that's not a bad thing. This is a great song. So going in the plus column is Quiet Town. Another song we're going to put in the plus column is Cody. This is one of my favorite songs on the record. I was kind of surprised from the get-go how roots rock this record is. It's kind of like the latest Wallflowers album, Exit Wounds, which is up on the channel if you want to watch that. But, instead of synths and indie rock hooks that the band is known for, the Killers have really broken it down. They're doing some storytelling on this record. The lyrics are really strong. The lyrics are really descriptive. It's kind of got this, the band's from Las Vegas, but it's going to have this Nevada desert style to it, which I really liked. They really like the melody on this song. It breaks into a great guitar solo from Dave Kooning on this song as well. So a real highlight from the record for me. So going in the plus column is Cody. Sleepwalker, also going in the plus column, starts off some really great guitar. I don't know, was that guitar or was it like harp or something? Very, very cool intro that leads into some great bass on this song. From what I can tell, Mark Stormer doesn't play any bass on this album. He wasn't involved in the recording. I could be wrong. You can let me know in the comments, but I guess maybe Brandon Flowers and their producer are playing the bass on this song. Got a great melody, a great little melodic guitar line, synth line in there as well. Another fave on this record, so I really like Sleepwalker. In the Car Outside is another song we're going to put in the plus column. This is really one of the more maybe classic Killers tracks, retro indie sounding on the record with, it's got a great drum loop. It's, got a lot going on. That's really cool. Some cool synths. Really like the melody. Again, very, very Springsteen, but more on the side of Springsteen that I like. When we get to the songs in the minus column, you'll see that I'm not really into some of the more downbeat acoustic songs on this record, which again reflect another side of Springsteen. I'm more into the upbeat 80s, Born in the USA side of Springsteen. So I'm happy to say this song reflects that side of the Killers and Springsteen influence on this record. So in the plus column is In the Car Outside. Another song we're going to put in the plus column is the title track called Pressure Machine. Really great vocals from Brandon Flowers. I haven't really dug everything he's done vocal wise over the last, I want to say the last 10 years or so. Sorry, fixing my hair. Last 10 years or so. But this one's really cool. It's got some really nice falsetto vocals on the chorus. I wasn't a huge fan of other similar songs on this record, the ones that are a little bit more downbeat and a little bit more acoustic. But this one was great. It had some great violin on it, a great ender to the album, some awesome layered vocals on there as well. So I like that as well. Also going to the plus column is a song called The Getting By, which is, again, more Brandon Flowers channeling Bruce Springsteen, but again, some really nice harmonies in there. Really, really enjoyed that. I wasn't a huge fan of the downbeat songs, like I said, but I really did enjoy this one. Like the violin on it, the sound of the train going down the tracks that ends off this song. So I'm happy to say that both Pressure Machine and The Getting By are going in the plus column for Pressure Machine by the Killers. All right, so let's get to my negative or my minus tracks for this record. There's just a couple of them. And I feel like some people might disagree with me on this one, but that's okay. We can disagree. That's what we're here to do. Let me know in the comments. But Terrible Thing, going in the minus column for me. I feel like that's going to be sacrilege because I feel like a lot of people are going to like the song. But it's another Springsteener. It's got some folk acoustic guitar on it. It's got harmonica, a little dash of Bob Dylan in there as well, which is never a bad thing. But I don't know. I just wasn't as into the folky acoustic songs on this record as I was into some of the other more upbeat songs on the album. I feel like this kind of thing has been done a million times before. It's going to pull on people's heartstrings. I understand that, but it wasn't really a huge standout for me. And the same goes for a song called Runaway Horses, which features Phoebe Bridgers on the song, doing some great harmonies with Brandon Flowers, by the way. Really dug that. But again, another acoustic song. Didn't really do much for me. Maybe it's a little bit too hokey. I feel like a lot of people will latch onto these songs because they're emotional and they're strong and they're good songs. It just didn't really appeal to me in the way that I wanted to. And another song that's going to go in the minus column is In Another Life. A lot of the albums that I review here on the channel, when you get to track 8, things tend to take a little bit of a dive, not in terms of quality, but maybe just in terms of keeping things going and keeping the momentum going on the album. So Another Life felt like that to me. And then also going into the minus column is Desperate Things, which was a nice little guitar and vocal number from Brandon Flowers. But again, like some of the other softer tracks on this record, they're good and they're emotional, and I'm sure a lot of people will like them, but they didn't really jump out to me. So we're going to put all those songs into the minus column. Overall, I think that Pressure Machine is a pretty solid record. It kind of reminds me, with all the different little audio clips and audio bits that are on the beginning and the tail ends of some of the songs. Reminds me of the Holy Bible album from the Manic Street Preachers. Very different kinds of albums, because the Manic Street Preachers album is very dark. Has lots of clips of kind of disturbing things, which is different than this, but very similar in the way that they're using audio to help to tell the story of the Pressure Machine and the kind of things that they're talking about. So whether that be religion or family or life or cults or whatever they're talking about, there's a lot of that on this record. And, it was, again, more of a roots rock record than I expected. It was a lot more, broken down, a lot more acoustic than I expected. I really enjoyed that, especially since the Killers are known for being a very produced band with lots of synths and indie rock hooks and that kind of thing. I don't love how Brandon Flowers sings. Still, there's just always been something different about how he's done his vocals since Hot Fuss. He was different on that record, and then he changed things over. It's like very like, it's not a great impression, but that's how I feel like he sings. But he's still a great vocalist, a great songwriter, and I can respect the band for trying to do something different. They've been doing this for quite a while now. This is their 7th record, so I can really get into the Killers doing something different. Personally, there wasn't a lot here that I would take away. I've mentioned on previous reviews that sometimes I'll take songs from each album I listen to and add them into a playlist so I can listen to them later, the songs that I really liked. And I didn't really do that on this album. I'm sorry to say, but it was still enjoyable. I think Killers fans, whether you be a longtime fan or a new fan, are going to enjoy it as well. And overall, I would give Pressure Machine from the Killers a solid 3 out of 5. All right, guys, that is my review for the Killers' their seventh studio album called Pressure Machine. Let me know what you thought of the record in the comments below. Really love to start a conversation and know what you guys thought of the album. Make sure to like this video. We would really appreciate that. Make sure to subscribe to us here on the Rock Squad channel, because we're doing a podcast every week. Me and my bandmate and good friend Dave Marini, we do a podcast called the Rock Squad Podcast, where we break down all the latest in the rock world of music news and all that stuff. So make sure to check that out every week, and check us out here for more rock album reviews as well. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Rock Squad Pod, and check out our band. Dave and I are in a band. We're called Fools Union. You can check us out on every major music streaming service: Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Bandcamp, everywhere. Check us out at foolsunion.com, and we'll see you guys again for the next rock album review. Rock on.